She doesn't usually see clippers on the ground. Hi, baby. Tiger. Hi. Hi, BJ. Hi. Where's Spot? Where's Spot? Tiger. Where's Spot? Where's Spot? Where's Spot? Hmm? It's BJ on the left and Tiger on the right. Sisters. Whoa, goodness, she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. Why'd you slap her? Hey there everybody, Kaye here on the homestead. Well, I just thought I would do a little cleanup in this corner. You know, it's 10 a.m. and it's still shady right here. Because believe it or not, I mean August and the sun is dropping, so it's probably going to be 11 or 12 before this area gets hit when the sun comes past those trees there. So the mower is here, and this area, because a lot of the rain comes down this way, this grass over here gets like this tall in about a week and a half. And you may notice I just panned this area. I've got all these blackberries. These are wild blackberries. growing all in this area, and I thought, gee whiz, you know, here's my blackberry arbor. I should protect these and have a lot more berries. But guess what? Here we are, almost mid-August, and not one berry, not one flower. Meanwhile, he has to try, there's no support. So they're spread out all like this, touching the ground all over like octopuses, and he's got to try to weed whack around all that. That's simply not fair if it's not going to produce. And so I just think I'm going to cut them down. And he's done all around here, but I said hold off on this area, and I'll show you my wild lettuce. And I wanted to talk a little bit about my asparagus. I hope you're going to be able to hear me over the lawnmower. But I thought it was important because I was working on the asparagus bed, because it was all draped over, the ferns were all draped over onto the ground, so he couldn't weed whack back there either without risking it. So I had him help me. We used 2 PVC, 10-foot PVC poles on either side of the hoops. There are 4 hoops on each raised bed, well, down here anyway, and that one. But these ferns, they grow up 6 feet tall, and they're bushy. And this is what I've learned, because this is my 3rd spring here. I passed my 3rd spring. And I planted the asparagus, the purple passion asparagus. I planted in, I guess, February of 2021. And that first year it was like nothing. They were so spacious. I thought, oh gosh, I could get 10 more crowns in there. I followed the directions. I gave them the proper spacing. Hardly anything came up. And you know, the little tiny ones I didn't even eat anything the first year, nothing. So the little less than a pencil size, you're supposed to let them grow into a fern. And what they do is they get really acclimated in their roots. They spread by rhizomes. So the roots, the second year, they're much better. They're almost the size of a pencil. So I had a few last year. Still, it seems spacious. And so, and of course, everything dies back in the winter, so there's like nothing there. And you think, gosh, I could get some production out of this corner, and I put 2 eggplants in there. They're not getting any sun, and yet they have produced 4, there's another 5th one on there, 4 eggplants so far. When you're planting asparagus, the key is to be patient, because, oh, hey, my neighbor's here, hold on. Now, he had called and said he had texted and said he was coming over. Did I want some beans? Well, he texted and said, I've got some beans, fresh beans, so you could have fresh beans, would you like them? Because most of my beans are probably going to have to be dried and, you know, stored. So I said, sure. Now that's certainly what they call in the South a mess of beans for one person. I mean, if I put carrot and potato and onion in here, that could be 2 to 3 meals for me. But I had already planned my dinner, because the beauty of having your own garden is options. Look at this beauty. That is the eggplant that was growing underneath all those ferns. And here's a small one. So I just gave him the medium-sized one, because I don't want to take stuff without giving, and people won't take pay around here. So my friend who brings me eggs, I had snuck a $20 bill in one of something I gave him, because he was going to bring me eggs and I wanted to pay, and he wouldn't take any money. And I hadn't traded him anything recently, because he had tomatoes and he had all the things that I have. He had growing in his own garden. So yesterday he was over bringing eggs, and I said, do you like okra? And I had just harvested okra. Now the way I harvest okra, I have a whole video on harvesting okra. I'll put the link right up there. But I forage. I usually get down to the lower garden about 6, earlier if I'm really on the ball, and later if I'm not on the ball. You know, once your okra starts coming in, you got to pick it every day. You really can't skip. Maybe if you get everything down to 1 inch long, you can skip a day. But it grows so fast. I think you could sit there and watch it grow. And I have some at different ages, because I planted some starts, some okra starts in the house. Down there, actually, Randy was here that day and we planted them very quickly. And for whatever reason, we had a lot of rain and they got washed out, they didn't take. So I only had about 10 or 12 plants of that original planting, and then I waited a week. I came back and I planted a lot of seed, and then I wound up thinning 3 times. Okra is a vegetable. You don't have to have a green thumb to grow okra. And if you're not in the South, you may think, well, I don't like okra, but you might like it. You might like it. You should try it. I like it raw and fried is the way I like it. If you get fried okra in a cafe or something, first of all, you're buying a frozen product. And if they've gotten it from a commercial food distributor, that okra, there's no telling what kind of, I can't be sure because who knows, but they've got to have some kind of preservative in that batter and all of that. The best way to cook okra, in my opinion, is to cut it, and you know, it's what is it about okra that they say? It's slimy. They call it slimy. And so if you cut it fresh, and I just roll it in cornmeal with salt and pepper, and then I put it into some hot fat or oil and fry it until it's, you know, rather hot, until it just starts to get tender. I put a fork in it, and that's it. I don't make a batter. Anytime you have anything coated with a batter that's put into the freezer, that you buy in the store, I mean. If you do your own, it's a whole different thing, but you buy it in the store. So you may not even know if you like okra, because sometimes the batter overpowers the okra itself. I like to taste the okra. Anyway, the way I do it is I forage. I go down the row, and if it's 1.5 to 2 inches, I eat it. I just eat it off the end. I just bite it off the end and throw it, the end down. And then anything that's between 2 and 2.5 inches, I put into my basket. Anything over 3 inches, I clip and it drops on the ground, or I put it in my compost. Because if you pinch it and it crunches, you hear a crunch, like potato chip crunch, crunch. No, it's too old, it's too late. You know, it's not gonna taste that good when you fry it up. Yes, you can dehydrate it. Those older ones you can dehydrate and turn into powder, and I've done that, and I have a lot of that. So I'm not gonna do that this year. He said he wasn't sure if he liked okra, and so I told him how to cook it, and so I gave him my whole harvest yesterday of okra in exchange for a dozen eggs. So this is the beauty of having community and having people that are growing gardens, and you can share, and somebody else may want an eggplant and not growing an eggplant, and you can share. So anyway, I hope all of this information is helpful. I'm going to get back to work here so he can get this weed whacked and get cleaned up. I just want to show you this wild lettuce plant. I've had a lot of people watch my wild lettuce video, and thank you so much for tuning in for that. And if you subscribed, thank you so much. I'm really grateful. And so this plant went to seed, and I didn't really save seeds. All these things were like puffballs, like dandelion, and they puffed away. So I'll probably have 10 million prickly lettuce plants coming up here. And also recently, Okie, Ranch Wife, she's one of my followers from Oklahoma. She just sent me wild lettuce seeds. So I actually have the seeds to start if I get a chance to do that. Thank you so much for being a part of my journey here. I hope you are inspired to take on your own journey of self-reliance and securing your seed freedom, food freedom, and your health freedom. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. This is the next bed to work on, and I just want to show you while they look so pretty. This is a Baker Creek seed, and this is sweet chocolate, and they ripen sort of reddish brown. Isn't that gorgeous? These peppers are absolutely gorgeous, and they seem to be ripening when they're yellow. Never grown them before. Oh, I have a tag. Oh, this is Doe Hill. Right. Fantastic. I can't wait to have a taste test on like my peppers. Let's cut this wild lettuce and see if there's anything alive at the base. Oh, I forgot to show you. I had one asparagus today I harvested. I actually had 2 little ones, but I ate them already. This is the problem when you put a cage around something, you get a whole bunch of weeds at the base. For all I know, they make at a certain point, if it's not going to produce food and it's going to cause more labor and it doesn't make pretty flowers, it needs to come out. So I just went down to the lower garden and I spent about 2 hours tying up and harvesting some tomatoes. This is an area where I haven't done any pruning, any maintenance, and boy, is there a lot of dead stuff down there. But I have Borghese. I really like this variety because it's tough. It doesn't give in to disease pressure as much. I mean, the plants were diseased, but there were a lot of fruit, and the fruit is not rotten, you know, whereas this is, I think it's called Dr. Witch's or something, and I got 2 big, beautiful tomatoes. I think this one's kind of perfect, but it says 1 little spot on it. But the whole vine is just awful, awful, awful looking, and all I'm doing is just letting about 4 more of these ripen, and then it'll come out. This is a lemon cucumber. I missed this one. You really should get it before it's this yellow, but I grabbed it anyway. I've already got my seed safe for that. And then I stopped off in the side garden and harvested some peppers. Can't wait to do a taste test and show you these. This is lipstick. This is This is Doe Hill. You can also harvest them when they're yellow. And these are fabulous long red cayenne, just fabulous. This is pumpkin spice. I'm going to have a lot of these. This is the only one that's yellow. Regular jalapeno.